Hello, everyone. Sorry I had to do that. This is a little bit of a celebration.
I thought it was a grab for views.
Huh?
I thought it was a grab for views.
It's that too, but it can also be a celebration. All right, so this. Oh yes.
No, John. This
Yes?
is celebration.
Smirnoff Sours, green apple vodka.
That's celebration.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to find myself some of that, and also cancel all my plans for the next day.
Just wait till after the podcast, John.
Okay, and all right. Anyway, yes, welcome to the Nerdvana podcast for the month of December, the final podcast for the year, and this is a special treat, as Ian has said. This is pretty much a grab bag for views, you know, mostly because of timing, but also a little bit of a celebration. This is, let's see, we're literally recording this the day before the new Spider-Man movie is going to be released in theaters. Wish I could say that I'm going to see it in theaters, but Omicron happened.
Omicron per CI8?
You get it? I was thinking of doing that. Don't know if you would have gotten that yet.
Of course I get that. I'm not that young. And
right,
there is YouTube.
Okay, yes. All right, so Omicron happened. But anyway, if you are watching this is going to be, you're watching this on December 28th, and that is because that is the great Stan Lee's birthday, and we would have been 99 this year. It's been 3 years, and it still hurts to know that you're gone.
Yeah, Stan, you was the man.
Oh God, yes.
Excelsior!
Excelsior!
Excelsior.
All right. So,
Anyway, John, what movie did you want to do on Stan Lee's birthday?
We are going to be doing actually another superhero sequel. Honestly, actually one of the best ones that ties into this new Spider-Man movie, and it is Spider-Man 2. And of course, if you have seen, featuring the Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst, James Franco, and Alfred Molina, who actually became a fan favorite on both on our respected channels, Ian. Since he was the voice of Vigo in the Dragon series.
Me and Becca never actually got to the second season of Dragon.
No, you haven't.
No, she didn't really want to do it anymore, so I've been looking at other projects as well. But before John suggested Spider-Man 2, I wanted to do Night at the Museum. Because it has Robin Williams.
I mean, we can still do it. We can still do it January. I mean,
No, we got plans to torture me next month.
Oh yeah, that's that's right.
You guys are actually gonna tune in next month. You're gonna see me rage out. Yeah, that one.
Rage out to what?
This is the clue.
I got to beat John.
Oh, okay. It's a good one.
Like, I would have thought you wanted to see him rage out to this.
That's Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Yes. And
no.
That thing.
Who's that? Who's that behind it?
The Deadite.
Oh, the Deadite. Oh, all right. So anyway, actually, all right. Another moment before we get to start. Just wanted to say that hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, a kick-ass Kwanzaa, and a rockin' Ramadan. And for all you pagans, Ian included, Happy Winter Solstice.
Thank you.
And just hope.
You guys gotta come out to pagan celebration for Yule. It's banging. It's awesome.
There's a giant bonfire.
Giant bonfire, a lot of food.
Anyway, just hope you all had a safe holidays, and also hopefully we have a happy new year in 2022. Don't believe any of the hype. Get vaccinated. Otherwise,
Please.
we're
and
never
get your boosters.
And get your boosters. Otherwise, we're never going to get out of this.
We're almost on year 3 now.
All right. Anyway, so
I hate humans.
Yeah. Yes. Kind of makes me wish that the meteor got here earlier. Anyway.
When is that supposed to be here?
I don't know. Anyway, gentlemen, now let's get down to the nitty-gritty. This is Spider-Man 2, released in 2004, and pretty much blew the first movie out of the water. It was one of the...
In terms of scope and everything.
It was one of those rare sequels at the time that was better than the first movie.
Yes. One of the things that really helped pave the way was better CGI.
It was better CGI. It was less PS1 looking, but still video game looking.
It was more clean. No, it was, obviously the jumping scenes hadn't aged well in the first one.
Yeah, a lot of things haven't aged well, and when you're a filmmaker and also you have massive OCD, that imperfection is grating on the brain.
But part of what makes Spider-Man 2 so great is, I would call it the right place at the right time at the right junctures is what I call it. Because not only did we have the wonderful Sam Raimi directing this movie with Tobey Maguire returning. Returning directors is hard enough to get with any movies, especially
let alone a superhero movie.
Let alone a superhero movie with conflicting visions. Just ask Warner Bros. And
Tim Burton.
Yeah, but comparatively, having a villain who, let's be honest, you look at him in the comics, he's silly.
Yeah, he's pretty silly.
But they somehow made him so threatening, so terrifying, by just giving him a suit upgrade.
Yeah, instead of like the bodysuit, they gave him like a bunch of trench coats.
Yeah, which very well made him look menacing.
It kind of fits the setting of the world. It does make the character not only stand out a little bit more in like present time, but it also kind of feels timeless.
And I could dare say that Spider-Man 2 is lightning in the bottle, because everyone likes to believe that the trilogy itself is the best Spider-Man. I would say no, but 2 is the whole essence. But even 2 has its problems, which we'll talk about.
I think we're talking in terms of plot or development.
Mostly the plot, on all honesty.
Okay. I'll actually never forget the night before I got to see Spider-Man 2 in theaters, and it was kind of a weird string of coincidences. In my old house, my bedroom was in the basement, and when I was staying up late one night, I noticed a black spider crawl across my bed.
No, did you let it bite you?
No, I'm not as stupid as that guy from Liberty Mutual. I'm actually also, was that thing a brown recluse? Because that looked like a brown recluse.
They're a little smaller than that.
Okay, so all right. Then let's see. Then since it was a Friday night, that means I could stay up late, and that also meant Adult Swim was on playing some anime. One particular show was Inuyasha. And you remember that show, don't you, Tyler? And one particular, yep.
I'm so young.
Yes, and one particular episode was the revelation about of Naraku's identity, and the reveal was a spider-shaped burn scar on his back.
Interesting.
Spider on the back, spider crawls on the bed. Next day, I go see Spider-Man with my dad. That's what my life is like. I mean, usually when there are like 2 or 3 things that seem to be connected, it means that it leads to something the next day.
Speaking of which, my dad took me to this movie, and I would say, he told me, like, son, this is gonna be the movie. This is the movie that's gonna show you that why Spider-Man is amazing, my son.
Did he actually say my son?
Yes.
Oh my god. So he actually decided to act like an old mentor to you.
Yes.
Part of me wishes he said boy.
Boy.
And then I could make a God of War reference.
I know. But he wasn't that kind of guy. My dad collected the comics.
As you've said before in our first Spider-Man review.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if everyone needs a time flash on this, but a friend stole them.
I remember this.
Are you sure you're not just taking mine? Because that's the same. Because that's almost similar to the one I said about my dad's collection of the comics.
Was it his friend?
Well, his friend borrowed them, and then his mom threw them away. At least that's what his.
No.
At least
His
that's
friend
what.
sold them.
Oh boy.
His friend sold them for beer money.
What? You sold it for a beer money? I could have got. If I sold the money, I could have gotten a house.
I know, right? But it wasn't worth that much at the time. That's the problem. It's worth a lot now.
Mm-hmm. All right, Ian, how about your memories?
Oh, my memories. I don't know when I first saw this movie. It might have been. I knew it came out. I just never really remember seeing it until, I don't know, maybe just 10 years ago. It was, I don't know. It was, I remember having a Spider-Man birthday party when this movie came out, or around about that time. Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure every kid goes through a superhero phase.
Oh yeah.
Some of us never grow out, but I remember having that Spider-Man party. I don't remember seeing the movie until much later. Maybe, shit, it was after Spider-Man 3 came out. So, but we'll talk about that later.
We'll talk about that later. All right. So were there any? All right. So were there any improvements in the second movie? Were there any improvements that this had over the first movie?
Aside from the CGI.
Aside from the CGI, yeah.
Oh God, yes. We're talking
Oh,
about
absolutely.
fluidity of the fight choreography.
You mean? Did you say the fluidity?
The fluidity of the fight choreography. You know when Doc Ock is dismantling that cat and throwing him like a baseball?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. I definitely like to say the stunts were a little, also kind of were definitely more ambitious. They were definitely.
Oh, absolutely.
They definitely took it to the next level.
Oh yeah. And it felt, and you can really feel the pain of trying to be a superhero while having a life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not something everybody really thinks about.
No.
And that's an important facet of this movie.
Yeah, it's
like,
yeah, I know.
You can't pay rent with being a superhero. No one's paying you to do this.
Yeah, geez.
Not to mention in New York City. I can't imagine rent's cheap there.
Oh no.
Mm.
New Yorkers, tell us how rent is.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Ian, to give you an idea, people make wills to pass on the rent of their apartments to their next of kin.
You.
Wow. Yes.
And so landlords have to honor that. So there's some places that honor.
Oh my God! Wow, Ian, what?
I just looked up rent in New York City average. Granted, this is for today. Alphabet City, 1 bedroom, which is what Peter Parker, although he has like a 1-room apartment, so he probably has a studio.
That'd be, yeah, studio.
$3,000 and $3,995 a month in New York City.
$4,000?
Basically $4,000. It's a little closer to 4,000 although not much closer. It's still below 4,000, and for a 2-bedroom.
And that's in Alphabet City. Is that the middle part of town, or is that the good or bad part of town?
That's probably the middle part of town. It's not even the slum area.
Rent Hop, not sponsored. Shit, that doesn't work. Rent Cafe. Holy shit! Average rent for an apartment in Manhattan, $4,140.
What the hell?
Remind me never to move to Manhattan.
I'm not moving to Manhattan. No way.
Guys, remember, people write wills to pass on the rent they're paying to their descendants.
Are they?
No thanks.
Are they do they do that to the family members they hate?
No. If you want a apartment that's less than $2,000, that's what they do.
Oh my God.
And to my dearest cousin that no one talked to, I leave to you my rent bill.
I
am never moving to New York.
No. I leave to you my apartments, which only costs $1,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to that, that's not that bad.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh my God. Woo.
But
Okay.
no,
Now
yeah.
we know why Peter Parker was struggling.
Yes. And this is just 2021. This is pandemic rent.
and this is
Pandemic era rent. We're talking 2000. We're talking 2004. You know, inflation rising because of a war rent.
Oh wait,
Yep.
shit, that's on that phone. Never mind. I had an inflation calculator on this. Oh well.
Okay.
I'm too lazy to look it up now.
But no, so other things that made this thing good was the plot motives of the villain, which the villain is pretty sympathetic. Honestly,
He is.
tragic, which made him like you could argue
Likeable.
I had no sympathy for Harry's dad. I had none for Norman because like
Even though it was Willem Dafoe.
Even though it was I mean,
he inflicted it upon himself.
he did,
Yeah.
but so did Doc Ock.
The
No.
difference was one was a
Octavius
super
had
soldier.
an accident.
The problem was one was a super soldier serum
Okay.
that wasn't stable.
Ish.
So
It was a
as-
super soldier ish. We haven't crossed that threshold yet.
But this one was not meant to be used for soldiers or wars.
Yeah.
It was a tool.
It was meant to it was meant to provide cheap renewable electrical energy.
So it makes it more tragic that
He was trying to help people, and it literally blew up in his face.
Uh-huh. And slit his wife's throat.
yeah. But let's not forget that Sam Raimi was in first and foremost a horror director.
He was
And so,
Oh,
not just any kind of horror director, over the top horror director, the kind of horror that that Peter Jackson used to make, that is borderline scary but funny.
funny. Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Just
that
the
scene.
this hospital scene is
The
just
nurse,
proof
the nurse
enough.
going like,
I love it. That hospital scene is my favorite scene in this whole movie.
it's over the top. It's ridiculous.
It's over
It's
the
But it's awesome and terrifying at the same time.
I think the one that's actually the one legitimate scary part in the whole scene when I rewatched this recently is the nurse who's screaming and being dragged back by the tentacle and the fingernails. It's just scraping. She is so scared. She is literally grasping the floor to try to get an anchor, and the tentacle is strong enough. We're getting fingernail marks. That's scary.
Also, let's comment on the tentacles because let's be honest,
Ooh,
the tentacles
I
in
want
the comics looked ridiculous.
Not only
What did they look like in the comics?
it looked like
It looked like a hose with a rubber ball kind of attachment.
you remember Bender's hand?
Yes.
It looked
That.
like that.
What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was essentially a stub with 3 little stubs on it in the
Yeah.
comics.
So
What?
Also, Octavius.
Well, that's a good thing on the design part of this movie.
Oh
that's what
God,
I'm
yes.
saying. That's why this movie is lightning in a bottle. The design team were hitting the ground running. Was redesigning Doc Ock. Like, I'm not serious. My dad Doc Ock is my dad's favorite villain, but when I saw him in the comics, he looked utterly ridiculous. Bright orange jumpsuit. Or green, depending on which one.
And if you also watch the animated series, it's yellow and green.
Oh, even ew.
Wearing those
Ew.
90 shades. Those 90 shades. You know what I'm talking about. Those
Yes.
The
And
fact
his-
I know that.
and his face is like he's literally a blockhead. He's literally a blockhead, and he's got. I mean,
But
he was
but-
definitely designed. He was definitely designed not to be sympathetic.
but Alpha Molina provides so much dimensions.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes,
The
especially.
man can make you cry based off of the emotions he could express. When he saw his losing, the fact that he lost his wife, the remorse that he saw, and how about him trying to talk to the tentacles? No matter how ridiculous it is, it looked like it's almost convincing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
But that's also part of the animation and the animatronics of the tentacles.
the
it's that
tentacles. Oh my
convincing.
god, the tentacles were achieved brilliantly, like most special effects, a mixture of practical and CG effects. So
Oh my gosh.
So there were people that were literally actually puppeteering the tentacles. In fact, actually, Melina even it's funny that Melina actually gave them names.
Of course he did.
Okay, let's see. There's Larry, Harry, Flo, and Mo.
Of course.
And actually, we can find out who which of the tentacles is the Flo one, because it says here right on IMDb, Flo was the top right tentacle because it was operated by a female grip, and that particular tentacle was the most motherly, which removed his sunglasses and gave him sips of his drink.
Oh, I love it.
I like
That's
that.
amazing.
Yeah, so Flo's the tentacle that apparently he talks to the most, though.
The other ones are more aggressive. You can really tell. They had characters. Like each of those tentacles had their own characters.
Which is weird for an artificial intelligent thing with no eyes.
That's sort of the well, it has cameras in its
Regardless, you
red
don't
camera.
have eyes.
Yeah, but that's kind of the thing. I do not remember at all in the movie where Doc mentions that those tentacles are part artificial intelligence. I even scrubbed back from the beginning of the presentation. I did not hear a thing. Granted,
Other than the chance of the machine overtaking the brave wavelength.
yes, that's the first time I hear of the artificial intelligence, but it's never mentioned.
But you see how smart it is, so
Now,
pitch posh.
notice that what makes this movie shine is not Spider-Man, even though he does get his own fair share, but mostly the villain.
Oh,
It's
that's every good superhero movie.
This is classic Disney logic, is that it's the villain that's kind of the more compelling, the more memorable one.
Because look, I'm not gonna lie. Like, Defoe is a great villain, but not in the typical way. It's just more entertaining to watch.
He's
Yes,
hammy.
He can ham things up to the 30th degree.
The itsy bitsy spider rolled up the water spout. Then came the goblin and took the spider out.
Which reminds me, if you have seen No Way Home, we haven't seen it yet because, like I said, we're recording this before it got released, and also no freaking spoilers.
We will remove those comments.
Like, I'm going in blind.
You're going in blind. Yeah, we know who appears based on the trailers, but we don't want to know. We don't want to know any surprises. Also, yes. Also, thank you, Sony and Marvel. Now I gotta go all over the internet and stores because I need to get the Spider-Verse movies. I gotta upgrade my Raimi collection to Blu-ray. I gotta buy Venom and Venom 2, and I gotta buy Into the Spider-Verse. And now I find out about Across the Spider-Verse.
But let's get into the nitty-gritty of what other achievements this film does well, but also falls short of.
I don't know. Oh, sorry.
Because I'm not gonna lie, it's not just this movie, but the whole trilogy stinks with how they handled Mary Jane.
Yeah, we mentioned this before.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think I don't know if this is quite a shortcoming, but one vast improvement is since a majority of when we see Spider-Man swinging, the camera essentially follows him. This was this was, I believe they called it the Spider Cam, and it's essentially the cable cam, like which you pretty much see, is used in a bunch of football stadiums and broadcasts now. It's a tether line that goes all across the field, and there's a camera attached to it. This camera could not only go backward and forward, but there was also a special line that made it go up and down, so you could literally swing with Spidey.
Yes.
And like early in the movie, you kind of see how far this new camera work can go when we follow Spidey foil a robbery, and we see him swing between a semi truck.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, what do you think of his pizza delivery skills, my man?
Pizza time.
I mean, that poor New Yorker got robbed of his free pizza. The one that was it's on his porch. He's like,
and it was a deep dish.
Who was it?
Deep dish.
Who was that? Who was that guy anyway? Was it because he looked like he might have been struggling too?
That's Rando Cardresian.
He actually has a name?
No.
Okay.
Rando Cardresian. Random person.
Okay.
Never mind.
Another fun thing.
Oh, dude, I just remembered. Remember when we were going to start this the movie review series? We actually recorded our reactions and jokes because I couldn't type fast enough. I remember when we rewatched this one to think of jokes. The secretary at the desk, that's Emily Deschanel, otherwise known as Bones from the TV show.
Yes, I remember.
If you, Ian, have you seen Bones?
No.
I'm pretty sure you would dislike it based on scientific principles alone.
Speaking of, I gotta go off on this for a second.
Uh-oh.
I understand I honestly empathize with Dr. Octavius's efforts to gain funding for his project. I empathize that because science is not normally a profitable endeavor.
No.
Not really. So, unfortunately, in this day and age, that's not exactly overly realistic because there's this thing called crowdfunding.
But there was no such thing as crowdfunding back then.
No,
I know. That's why I said this day and age. Make a GoFundMe.
I mean, but what do you think?
Every person that helps out gets free power.
What do you? That's a good one. Yeah.
I support that.
What do you think of the tentacles? Oh my god, I'm actually referring to the tentacles as actual living beings.
Just do it.
The tentacles logic of why he should continue his research. And
why not?
And he goes, the real crime would be to not finish what we started.
And
I was like, no, there are worse crimes than that.
Well, no, because I understand where they're coming from. Because a worse crime could be, and a lot of artists and scientists, is to leave a project half done. John, if you were making a movie, look at Paprika. Remember that scene with the detective?
Uh-oh.
You don't even have to use that as a metaphor. I know of another artist that had to stop a project that he was so passionate about because no one could understand it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. I get that.
Now, I do wonder. One of the things that kind of irritated me was, I look at it, I thought it was awesome at the time, but now I feel like it feels really out of place. Not super out of place, but it just felt like, why did they include this? Why did he have to remove the mask on that train?
Oh, because it was kind of I rewatched it, so
It's very quick.
it caught on fire from the spark. It was kind of on fire, so he removed it to first put it out, and also I don't think he wanted to burn his eye out.
I don't remember it catching on fire. That's the weird thing.
It was very small.
It's very quick.
Fair enough. Though it was pretty epic seeing him trying to stop that train.
Oh my gosh.
Especially with all the faces he made.
Yes, all the meme-worthy face. That's the face of someone who's actually trying to hold back a giant shit.
John. Welcome to Nerdvana, folks.
Yep. It's fart and poop jokes. I mean, we're immature.
Maturity's overrated.
I'm immature.
It is. It is.
Maturity's overrated.
But getting older is mandatory. Growing up is optional.
That's
But
true.
what do you think of Aunt May? The woman has balls.
Holy shit! She learned quite a bit from her encounter with Willem Dafoe, didn't she?
You know,
Right?
how is it that a woman in her 60s or 70s
Or
Or
70s.
or 70s, I don't know, how is it that she was more useful than Mary Jane?
Right?
She took out Doc Ock with a smack to the side of the head with her umbrella. Her umbrella. Although that's probably why Mary Jane failed at the end. That's why Mary Jane failed at the end. He learned.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's what makes this movie all magical.
Uh-huh.
But
I just suddenly
what?
figured that out. It's, oh look, Mary Jane is useless. She couldn't even. She tried to help Peter by sneaking up behind Octavius, but she couldn't do that. Yeah, I mean, if I hadn't said that before, I would have been in the same camp as those guys.
now, make this interesting. So one of the things I found interesting was it had left a lot of plot threads, but didn't resolve them.
Like J. Jonah Jameson's son.
Yeah. Which we'll never learn in the next movie. I don't know what happened to him, but who cares? But
Yeah,
Harry discovering Peter's identity.
Isn't that kind of brought up in the third movie though?
It does get brought up, but that's what I'm saying. It's interesting that they left. This is more like a continuation of. John, let me put it this way: before this, most superhero sequels they didn't leave it for the next movie.
Oh yeah, that's
Batman
right.
and Joker didn't. No, what happened to Batman? There was no thread to continue in Batman Returns. What happened in Batman Returns was not going to be done in Batman Forever.
Oh yeah.
This was kind of a rare deal.
Yeah.
You gotta go see the sequel.
Yeah. I guess you could say
Could we call that sequel bait?
it is sequel baiting.
I guess Sony was actually pretty confident in that in Raimi's directing.
Oh yeah.
Although they would botch it in the
we're-
third movie.
Like they're even making the whole universe. You got to see the man who would become the Lizard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were pretty much building up to that. We got to see Kurt Connors in 2 movies.
Yeah.
Can I help you,
Now,
sweetheart?
one of
What's
my
up?
biggest gripe is, so what is the reason why Spider lost his powers? We
That's-
never get that explanation.
I think maybe it really is all up in here.
I wonder that, but I'm like, that has to be like, I'm not gonna call that lazy writing, but it just feels like a lazy writing to say it's a mental roadblock.
I guess. Because the reason why he got I don't know, maybe he was mentally thinking he doesn't want to be Spider anymore because he wants to be with Mary Jane. He just wants to be Peter Parker.
But that doesn't influence the body. Like, just because I'm like, I don't feel like taking a piss does not. It's not going to stop me from taking a piss. My body's going to have to do it. You'd honestly would be surprised by what the mind can achieve. I mean, just ask Buddhist monks. Touché. But like, physiologically, I don't think that's kind of a stupid thing.
Yeah, I mean, even rewatching that, I mean, it feels a little bit more clear, but it's still too mysterious. I mean, they're gone, and then all of a sudden they're back after, like, what?
An hour.
No, they're gone. You know, for a majority of the middle.
Yeah, have a seat.
Gone for a majority of the middle. You know, after that little falling out with Mary Jane at the party, and then meeting with Mary Jane at the cafe, they're back. Why? Why was it because Mary Jane his kryptonite or something?
I had to wonder.
His kryptonite and his son?
That said, it left the most memorable part of the movie. Jane Jonah Jameson be remorseful that Spider-Man gave up.
And then immediately return.
And then he's like, I should have never written these papers about him like that. I will miss him.
Spider-Man was a hero. I should have seen that. He was a thief. He stole my suit. He you really steal something that didn't really belong to you.
This is why I love, J.K. Simmons. He is the Jonah.
I know.
Like, there's no replacing him on this.
Well, come here. Come on.
Which is why I'm glad that he made a cameo appearance at the end of Far From Home.
Right?
Albeit kind of, it looks a little bit like Alex Jones, and I'd rather not want to be reminded of reality. But
hey, you take what you can get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and of course and honestly, just hearing him talk so fast, and just being able to summon someone pretty quick, and then just immediately dismiss them just as quickly. I mean, it's just so funny. Yeah, and then there's the meme of when Parker asks if Jonah could pay him in advance.
That is top tier meme material.
I know. You serious? You serious? What do you do? I don't pay you to stand around. Planetarium, 8:00. There's the door.
But no,
okay. Actually, that did kind of remind me of something. I think there were some shortfalls kind of in the editing. And as soon as I kind of figure out I can never figure out which direction my lens twists to open it after a while.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey.
Well, right now it's tight when it's turning left.
Tyler, I don't think he figured out you superglued it yet.
What did you do to my lens?
Nothing.
This is a vintage lens, man.
It doesn't look vintage anymore.
Yeah.
All right.
But no.
Tyler's the real supervillain. He's still working on it.
No, one of the things.
It was righty Lucy.
One of the other things about this movie, the soundtrack is just still stunning.
Danny Elfman's magic.
Danny Elfman's magic. It felt like the man was born to make superhero movies.
Unfortunately, I found out that apparently he had a that he had a falling out with the director.
Sam Raimi?
Yeah, with Sam Raimi, because I remembered looking at Spider-Man 3 thinking, yeah, I remember Danny Elfman didn't return to score the third movie. It was some new guy.
What was the reasoning?
Let's
We hired.
oh, here we go. Who did the film for this and several had some sort of falling out with the director during the course of this film, and had been quoted saying, "To see such a profound negative change in a human being was almost enough to make me feel like I didn't want to make films anymore." I don't know. Maybe Raimi was being a little bit too authoritarian, a little too domineering. However, Raimi and Elfman reunited 9 years later for Oz, the Great and Powerful, which also okay, which
reunited James Franco with him.
Yep.
Go to bed.
But no. The funny thing is, you can definitely tell a Danny Elfman soundtrack just by listening to it. It has the similar keynotes.
It's whimsical. It's otherworldly.
It's otherworldly.
Fantastic. It's fantastical.
Yes. But very distinct to be, you know, which theme it's going to be.
Yeah.
Which is a mark of a good composer.
Oh yeah. Oh boy.
But
this is a pretty great movie. I mean, sure, some of it has kind of aged like fine wine, others have aged like milk.
Yeah. But honestly, what made this movie best was we never really get to see if Doc dies.
And I think based off of No Way Home, he didn't really die.
Yeah. This is just brilliance.
I know. And also, these are comic book villains. You think there's no such thing as a one-off villain.
Oh no. You know, I got a quote from Professor Xavier, which, you know, will apply to heroes, but it also applies to villains. You know, heaven's like a revolving door for us heroes. We come in and we come back out.
That is a pretty good quote. That is pretty good.
It is real good. It really depicts how you can't really kill off a hero, not very easily.
It has to be done well.
Yes, that has to be done. Yeah, very well. I mean, there's no way that Norman Osborn would come back as the Green Goblin.
Oh yeah.
No, absolutely no way.
But, no, for all the things that this film does right, I feel like it was just.
There are some flaws.
Yes.
As is with just about every movie.
I think the only flaws that for me, as from a filmmaking standpoint, are I've noticed there are some really weird. I noticed a couple weird transitions.
Yeah.
After Jameson goes, there's the door, and we get this like. It's almost like, is this a dream? This is the dream sequence transition. Looks like I'm thinking like we're going. I mean, I've seen this movie 100 times, but my latest viewing, when I saw those squiggly lines, I thought, we're at the high society ball, and I'm like, nope, we're at a dilapidated sunken warehouse on a pier. This is Doc Ock's lair. What was that transition for anyway?
Not just the transition, but during that whole, not having powers sequence with Peter, with the primary shot and the two heads off to the side that are semi-transparent, I think, and some of the camera work is just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other camera work is just after after the train battle. You know, when Akka knocks, goes through the people of New York, splits them up and then knocks Spidey off. Then camera like zooms in to the spider symbol on his chest, and then all of a sudden and then we're at Harry's place. That kind of a weird matte transition. I was like, are you just trying to do something new? I mean, it felt weird and out of place.
Yeah.
Those are my nitpicks. But they're few and far between. Those are my nitpicks. They're nitpicks to me because there's only two that I could have noticed. And as a film, and being a filmmaker, I noticed that kind of stuff. Other than that, aside from a fade to black, I was like. Aside from a fade to black, I mean, it was edited pretty well.
Yeah. Just. Whew.
Oh, did you have to charge your phone?
1%.
Oh.
All right. Any other flaws that you can think of?
Not really. It overall a pretty solid
other than
movie.
The drama with okay, is the Mary Jane love triangle here. So Mary Jane's getting married, but she's thirsting for the spider.
Did you have to phrase it like that?
No, I love that.
How
Keep
else do I
going.
put it there? Because is she in love with the astronaut or not? Like, it really doesn't even make it clear about what her feelings with the astronaut's like. How did he meet? Were they even in love?
Was it political?
Was it political? There's nothing. It's just, it's happening. It's an event. And that's what it really can boil down. It's an event.
Who are you again? My son, the astronaut.
My son, the astronaut. I love that one.
That's his personality trait. Astronaut.
No, astronaut is an occupation. What is he like?
Not a very ludicrous occupation.
Not really. Unless you happen to be employed by NASA or SpaceX, I guess.
Doesn't he have like a NASA shirt?
Yes.
But no, even then, like it's not made clear, like, was she falling out of love with him? What? Like, she was really, getting on to the Spider-Man action here because apparently she just wanted Spider-Man more than the astronaut.
Yeah, I mean, that brief period where I don't know. It was just kind of funny during that brief period when Peter Parker loses his spider powers and he goes to see Mary Jane's play. I mean, Peter is just going like, "Let's want to get some chow mein," and Mary Jane just says, "I'm getting married, Peter."
My thoughts were, okay, congrats. You want chow mein or not?
Okay, I would have gone with, okay, we could try something. Okay, we can get something else. I was like,
yeah, congrats. What's your point?
No,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just pessimistic and sarcastic all the time.
It's
now.
nothing against the actress. Kristen Dunst, I think, was just victim of bad script.
Yeah,
and I think we said that last time. Yeah, I mean, she still had a fairly successful career. I mean, she's still doing stuff now. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most of us do. I mean, most of us do still say, "Oh yeah, she was in the Spider-Man movies."
But I mean, she's got other stuff going on, so
that's true. And
hi, Butters.
I don't know. I think the one thing that was ludicrous. Hi, Butters. I think the one thing that was kind of ludicrous in Spider-Man is how how everything was just going wrong for Peter. I mean, good God, this
John, it's your freaking law again. Stop it.
it's my law.
It is.
I'm sorry, but no, everything. I mean, seriously, it was like the universe was just out to make Peter miserable.
Oh, hold on. Do you remember one of my favorite NPCs of this movie? The landlord.
Yes, him. Yes.
Like, even though I don't know his name, he's still memorable. He's still memorable.
Yeah, it's
Brent.
I got eyes like fox and ears like rodent.
And
Promises
I
were
feel bad.
crackers, my daughter would be fat.
Well, I felt bad for his daughter. Who could
Yeah.
tell finally. No,
Honestly, she was a sweetheart.
She
was a
was,
sweetheart.
yes.
oh,
I
hi,
did-
Butters.
I think what's funny about the landlord is that the second time we see him, he literally stopped using the bathroom just so that he could yell at Parker about rent.
I know, right?
I mean, good God, you value money over your own personal health, or something, or sanitary conditions.
That's okay. Hold on. That's James Jonah Jameson's brother there.
Yes, it is. Oh God, yes, that's right.
I can make the argument that that's like a lost relative of JJ,
Probably.
a Russian JJ. But no,
God.
like, John, how do you feel about the daughter? Like, I kind of felt bad for her.
Ah, God, she was a treasure.
She made Peter chocolate cake.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anybody who does that is okay in my book.
honestly, I mean, could have made the argument that was Felicity Hardy, and I would have been okay. I would have been okay with that, because. Oh wait, Felicity Hardy. Oh no, wait, that's Gwen Stacy in the third movie. Okay, yeah, Felicity Hardy. That would have been good because she clearly has a crush on Peter,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
And
she
you know what's
was
sad?
what?
We'll never see a Spider-Man movie with Felicia Hardy, aka Black Cat. They'll
Not
never
yet.
come to fruition.
Not yet. I mean, there's still the Into the Spider-Verse movies.
Well, yes, but you know how long it took to get just Electro into a Spider-Man movie?
About
And it wasn't even that great.
let's see,
It
about
wasn't even that great either.
let's see, about 5 movies and 2 franchises.
Yeah.
And it was the end of the
and
Phantom
a reboot.
franchise.
I know. Ah, boy.
Is it wrong that I ship those two?
No,
Which one?
The
Which one's which
landlord,
the landlord's
lady,
daughter.
landlord's
one?
daughter,
No,
and
definitely
Peter.
not. Like,
And she's a sweetheart. I could ship
Okay.
that.
no. Ian, let me give you a course correction. There's nothing wrong with shipping Peter with anyone outside MJ. In fact, Peter has a lot of ships in the comics.
Yeah.
He's
I would
literally
not-
dating. He dates Black Cat at one point. He dates Kitty Pryde from the X-Men.
The cat and the
Yes.
spider.
Yes.
2 cats. Is he got a thing?
Does he have a
got
thing for cat girls?
I was going to
don't-
say, does he have a thing for cats? Otherwise, because I think Freud would have a field day with that.
Freud would have a
Don't
field
bring
day for
Freud up. He's weird.
But he also dated Gwen, which we all know how to end, sadly. But
Honestly, that was my favorite ship. That was my favorite ship out of the whole franchise. Out of the whole
Honestly,
franchises.
that was the writer's favorite ship, and the reason why they had to get rid of it is because, well, Peter would have just settled down.
Hmm.
Which I'm like, really? That was your fear?
There. All right. During the very first issues of the original comic, Peter Peter dated Betty Brant.
Betty Brant, of course.
Betty Brant, who who, if you remember, Ian, is in this universe is the secretary to Jameson.
Yep.
You know, the girl up front.
Let's see.
Spidey gets around.
Yes.
Peter does definitely gets around. Other
You-
ships include.
You searching, Tyler? Because we can't see your face anymore.
No, I had to turn off the camera because Cat was getting in the way.
Okay.
Liz Allen,
Who's that?
high school. Now she dated the Flash Thompson.
She could do better.
Pudding face.
Oh man. No, trust me. Peter had more than a share of dating women.
Oh boy.
So MJ's not the only. She's not the end all to be all. In fact, did you know Stan Lee didn't even meant to have her as the love interest?
No way.
In fact,
Did he even intend to have a love interest for Peter?
okay. So there's a joke. Aunt May trying to set up Peter with the lovely girl next door, Mary Jane,
Mm-hmm.
but she would be the unseen. Kind of like how, Home Improvement. You only saw the guys
Yeah, Wilson.
Wilson, but this one you wouldn't just see her at all. You just hear about her, kind of like in Frasier about Meredith, the wife, like Niles' wife,
Oh,
first wife. You'll
Okay.
never see her, but you hear so many things about her. She's fat, she's skinny, she's tall, she's short. So many discrepancies.
I'm sorry, but I like when it comes to comedy, I love writing like that.
She's
Wait, so who
hideous,
is this person
beautiful.
again?
I love-
Is she Mystique?
Probably.
Don't know.
but anyway, yeah.
But
I don't know.
but the reason-
I'm sure because Raimi is a spider nerd. That's how
Oh,
he got the job in the first place. He was probably a typical spider nerd and shipped Peter with MJ.
yes, but that's the reason why that famous panel, Tiger, you hit the jackpot, happened, because that was the first reveal of MJ.
Mm-hmm.
Like after so many issues of just hearing she existed. But
Yeah. So Tiger is usually her pet name for Peter.
yeah. Which, how much of Mary J is actually accurate? If you had to be honest with me, if you read the comics.
I don't know. I do not know because I did not because in the comic the little
Okay.
comic compilations that I've gotten, I never got far enough to where Mary Jane was revealed.
Okay. Let me put this way, John. MJ is Trouble. Like that's her middle name. And I'm not talking about like I got caught by the villain Trouble, as in she would get in trouble pursuing what she would do. Like
You mean
if
Trouble?
played-
You mean like Trouble follows her?
Trouble follows her, but not in the way that the movies would do it. Like if you play the 2018 Spider-Man game, she works at the Bugle, and she also gets herself neck thick into trouble getting the scoop.
Oh, so she's like Lois Lane.
Yes.
Hmm.
She doesn't care there's danger. She will brave danger. Does this sound like that kind of MJ?
No,
No.
that
in fact,
sounds
the comic-
that sounds a lot like Lois Lane. I'm sorry, but I think I think Marvel or Sony, whoever was in charge of making that game, must have been scraping the bottom of the barrel.
No, because that's what MJ was in the comics. Why do you think she called Peter Tiger? Why do you think she was like? She was very sass. She was very with the comebacks, wit, everything.
Oh, so a New Yorker.
Yes. But Christian Dunst doesn't convey that well.
No. And this is your issue.
That's kind of my issue with the Mary Jane character. It's not completely accurate.
Okay.
Well, that's pretty much any adaptation. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
That's the problem with any adaptation. But let me tell you, did you feel that Gwen Stacy was not adapted well in the Amazing movies?
I don't know.
Like, you got the feeling that it's a Gwen. It's kind of hard to mistake Gwen Stacy for anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
But with Mary Jane, I don't get the sense it's Mary Jane. I just get the sense that it's a woman that happened to be named Mary Jane.
Okay.
That happened.
I can't argue with that. Like I said, I didn't read all of the comics because there would have been so many to go through.
Oh, gee. Start now. You'll finish by the time you're 60.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, guys, one of the things that I do regret that's never going to happen in my lifespan, or yours, John, is the adaptation of the Clone Saga.
With Ben Reilly.
Ben Reilly. It will never happen, sadly. It's kind of one of the things I wish Sony would allow to happen. But I see that as about as successful as, well, the Browns winning the Super Bowl.
And do you better on that. More. You mean the Lions winning a Super Bowl?
Yes. I didn't want to kick you in the nads there.
My dad knows it. I know it. Not a football fan, but my dad has accepted the fact years ago that his home team is crap.
Oh, like Iowa State was the other week.
Yep.
Yeah. Or like how the people in Chicago knew that the Cubs sucked until they won in 2016.
Yeah.
A year off.
Just a year. But no, like, I'm not trying to go off the movie. I'm just thinking what's coming to my mind. Like, this movie got so many lovely storytelling done that I wish it would take, someone would allow to tell more complex stories, but it would be hard to tell it in the movie form, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough time to tell the whole movie.
Yeah. Honestly, I had a strange thought.
Only one?
No. Well, the one that resurfaced. We mentioned of how this mental block that Peter has is just is so mysterious, and it just comes out of nowhere and then disappears just as quickly. But I'm kind of thinking maybe in this movie he was actually trying to find Pete. I don't know. Maybe he was trying to find Peter Parker. That kind of thing. I mean, I'm seeing this movie as, I don't know how to eloquently put this out there, but you know how the fan base is always saying that Toby was a better Spider-Man, because of, or he was a good Peter Parker, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think he was a good Peter Parker. I don't know. I'm seeing this movie as as sort of like the Batman, sort of like Batman. You know how people say that Bruce Wayne is really the mask, and Batman is the real identity.
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking like maybe if we view that sense in this movie, we see it's like Spider-Man trying to be Peter Parker, and it's those two, and it's like those two, and it's those two worlds that are in conflict with each other. I mean, because it's pretty much handled pretty well in the Holland version, like finding, it's like finding out like who, like is it the suit that makes Spider-Man, or is it Peter Parker that makes Spider-Man? I think I guess that's kind of the thing I'm going with, because when Spider-Man is swinging and he's fighting, I mean, I think that's like really, I feel like that's really Spider-Man. But when we see Peter, it's like it's Spider-Man trying to be Peter Parker.
Actually, a comic issue does answer that, because if you go to TikTok, you'll find people that said Spider-Man doesn't kill villains, not because he doesn't want to, because he just doesn't want to hurt people. But he also doesn't want to tarnish the reputation of Spider-Man to the people and the public.
Mm-hmm.
When Aunt May was caught in a crossfire by Fisk, Kingpin, Peter went to give him a visit, but before he gave a smackdown, he's like, let me take this off. I'm not visiting you as Spider-Man. I'm visiting you as Peter Parker. And he threatened to shoot web fluid down his throat into his lungs.
Oh, so drown him in web fluid.
Yes. The fact that that's scary. Like, Peter can get to that point.
I think maybe, I don't know. It is still kind of a mystery, but I think the dual identity, like trying to be Peter Parker as equally as much as being Spider-Man, I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe he just mentally decided that he's in burnout and he wants to rest.
Yeah.
And we all go through that.
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know. And like I said, it was kind of hard to try to organize and eloquently say what was in my mind, because ADHD, it's like, it's all over the freaking place.
You don't have to tell me that twice.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, I don't know. I just want to talk more about Alfred Molina and all the charm that he brought to the character.
I saw a clip of him one time where he was practicing for Broadway
Yes.
in the suit.
Yeah, he wasn't practicing for Broadway. He was in Broadway for Fiddler on the Roof. There is
I know, he was going through the routine in the suit
yes,
between
I
one
know.
of the takes.
That was my first time actually hearing a song from Fiddler on the Roof, and I liked it because he was singing it. If I were a rich man, yabba dibba 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 dum. I like
And the
that
puppeteers were moving the arms.
yes, and they worked so well in sync with him that they even made the tentacles go open up when he went, "Oi!"
That's awesome.
And I'm glad.
Oh my god.
I'm also glad that that green screen footage actually did resurface online, because I think I saw.
It's so wholesome.
It's so wholesome, but I think someone must have put it up on YouTube and actually green screened him out.
Aww.
Quick, John, go grab that and green screen him into every other project you have.
But no, Alfred Molina really makes the whole thing.
Yeah,
Like,
Oh, absolutely.
Without Alfred, it kind of falls apart.
I know. Even when he kidnaps Aunt May, I mean, it's even kind of a little charming. He just goes, hand her over, of course. Oop, Butterfingers.
I keep watching these clips, but for some of the scenes in this movie, someone took the voice of Spider-Man / Peter Parker out and put in Jacksepticeye's voice.
Oh God!
Oh God! Oh, top of the morning to ya.
It's so freaking funny. I love it so much. Whenever I'm feeling down and my depression is really freaking bad, I always go find those videos because It helps.
I am going to find that when this is over.
I will send you the link. I'll just find that because there's a whole playlist.
Oh, send me a link. That actually reminded me of something that I was going to do. No. Yeah, you cannot minimize Zoom when you are recording this meeting. Oh, okay. I guess you're the boss.
What happened?
Okay. I'm going to send you a link to something. You remember during the opening credits when we're seeing that awesome art?
Yes.
It's actually brilliant. That's a brilliant way to kind of recap what happened in the previous movie, other than instead of doing the as you know, as some of you know. But the art, I found out that the art was actually done by Alex Ross.
Ooh.
And I only know of that name because he did. Oh, I got it.
Yeah, there's a whole playlist there. Enjoy that. There's also Iron Mark.
Iron Mark. All right, because
Iron Man with Markiplier's voice.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier. That's a big sun.
Hamuki.
Okay. Anyway, I know.
Make me start singing Mark's song about space.
I don't know Mark's song about space.
Oh God! Just look it up. You have to, man.
I only know of Tim Curry. I only know of Tim Curry's version of space.
It's called Space is Cool. Space so cool.
We're not even on the goddamn movie anymore.
Yes, we're talking about spice.
And Mark and Jacksepticeye.
Anyway, okay, I'm getting back to the artist. The artist was Alex Ross, and I only know of his work because he made artwork for Mondo for the Mondo company to make, and it was used for the Universal Monsters Steelbook case, and they are amazing. I'm sending it to you everywhere. I actually made a Pinterest board of it. It's really quite amazing.
Oh, there it is.
Mm-hmm. Feel free to check it out whenever you have the time.
Now, guys, I do want to know, with this movie, did this set the standards of superhero movies to come? For how many years?
I think the first Spider-Man kind of. Well, I don't know actually. That's a pretty good question. I would have.
What set the superhero movie standard?
You would think that it would probably be the first Spider-Man, since that kind of helped open. Since it helped. It pretty much helped all Marvel superheroes. Gave all the Marvel superheroes a chance to shine in their own movie, or an attempt. I mean, give credit where credit is due. Blade was the first one that unlocked the door.
Yes.
And X-Men.
But then there's all the previous superhero movies that varying in quality, but it really depends.
Let's not beat around the bush. Marvel movies in the early 90s were amazing.
No, they were terrible.
And Blade is the reason why it got better.
Yeah. Marvel's first movie ended up becoming a punchline. Howard the Duck.
I think Tyler forgot about that one. And I refuse to see that movie.
Memory.
I've heard how bad it is. I refuse to see it.
I don't know.
You will suffer, my dude.
I don't.
I'm gonna suffer next month.
I don't. I don't know. I mean, writing aside, I mean, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel feels cringy.
But Howard the Duck. The Duck.
It's been 30 years. I'm pretty sure another King Bonehead dethroned it.
Yeah, but again, we're talking about what sets standards for movies, and if anything in the MCU could top that standard, besides obviously Endgame and Infinity War.
Oh God, yes. I think. Okay, I think. All right, I'll probably say that. Yeah, when it came to action, when it came to when it did come to storytelling. Well, actually, when it came to storytelling and superheroes in general, Spider-Man did kind of set the standard because even Fantastic Four copied and pasted Spider-Man.
We're gonna talk about that.
What?
We're not gonna talk about that.
I already talked about that in my review series. It was pretty much a checklist.
Fan Four Stick.
Not that Fantastic Four, the earlier one.
The Thing movie.
And all right, anyway, I think when it came to action, then yeah, Spider-Man 2 would kind of set the standard for that in superhero movies because
for a while,
because let's see, that was 2004, and then comes The Dark Knight along with Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. And that really that's the current standard, I think, the MCU.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, I think Spider-Man was the bar they set, and every movie they went kept going higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, and it kind of makes sense that Spidey would set the bar. I mean, Spidey is, in all essence, the face of Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man's mask is like one of the most recognizable symbols all across the world.
And I think that's in part due to this series.
And it's kind of odd because Spider-Man is what started Sony on a very good profitable adventure in movies, but it's Iron Man that took them to newest heights.
Yeah.
And now Iron Man is more recognizable than Spider-Man.
Yeah. I think that might have to be a little bit not only to the Marvel Studios in general, but also the direction of Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. I mean, you can't just like Alfred Molina as Doc Ock, you can't see anyone other than Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark.
Yeah,
exactly. To try to recast him would not go well.
Mm-hmm.
There would be a riot in the streets.
Like there isn't one already.
No, I'm talking about the supposed riot if they tried to, or if they failed a Back to the Future Part 4.
Oh yeah.
That sort of riot, except even worse.
There's already a Back to the Future Part 4. It's called The Game.
Fine, Part 5.
Like there was a Jurassic Park Part 2, and that's called The Game.
Jurassic Park.
No, that's 1.5.
Okay.
It's 1.5.
But Spider-Man 2 is.
It is essentially a standard when it comes to superhero movies.
It is. It's honestly one of the better sequels for a superhero movie.
That'd be interesting because, Tyler, remember when you had to have an argument with someone about what goes on Mount Anime Rushmore?
Oh dear.
God, yes.
What would go on Mount Superhero Rushmore?
Obviously you have to have Batman.
I would put the Richard Donner Superman.
Richard Donner Superman.
Because that was the first superhero movie.
Followed by Batman, then Spider-Man, and then Iron Man.
Ooh.
That might upset people.
Which Batman?
Nothing against Captain America. Nothing against Cap.
But we're talking about influential cinematic superheroes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say, which Batman are you talking about? Because if it's Adam West,
No, I want to say Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
all right, fair enough.
Yeah, so it's funny. I'd have to agree with you because it's funny. You actually split it right down the middle. It's even DC and even Marvel.
Yes, because they're all four influential.
There's gonna be a war in the comments.
Oh, what comments? Your comments? Maybe. My comments? Not so much.
Yeah, not so much.
No one leaves comments on my videos.
It's not like Dragons. We had tons of comments on
Oh
Dragons.
my god, I remember that.
Oh yeah. But now I think I've lost most of my lost those subscribers. They're on to bigger and better things, and I'm trying to do the same.
Yeah, we're growing.
Yeah, I do, but I do miss getting those comments from the fans, and hope to hear from them soon again.
Honestly,
Well, if they want more dragon stuff, we are planning something.
I don't know about just dragons. I mean, I want to hear what they think about some of my other stuff. I want to hear what they think of this short film that I'm actually going to be starting in the next couple of months.
honestly, I love Dragons. I love the adventures we went on Dragons, but I like to move on to more look at the things. The cinematic adventures of doing short skits. Remember that skit of Godzilla?
Oh
Dude,
God, yes, I remember that. That was funny.
I honestly have more fun doing skits than just talking about dragons, because as much as I love dragons, there's only so much I can do it.
Yeah.
But do we have anything more to say about
It's about Spider.
Spider-Man 2?
I really don't.
Spider-Man 2. No, I'll give it. I'll give it a 9 out of. Hey, you stole my suit. James Jonah Jameson's out of 10.
And I'd have to agree. Spider-Man 2 is definitely a great sequel. I especially pretty good with action sequence. In fact, actually, Tyler, I do remember it when we went to go see the first Amazing Spider-Man. You also saying it's pretty good, but so far the action isn't as good as Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
So, well, you quickly changed your tone during the final fight.
It took till the final fight to get there, but that's the weird thing. Spider-Man 2 kept it up.
Okay.
It wasn't just a final fight.
All right, fair enough. So, yeah. All right, so I'd have to agree. Spider-Man 2, I give it 9 thwips out of 10.
Is that the men's cologne?
No, that's the You're an asshole, you know that, Ian?
That's a very interesting
And
point.
what's your point?
You do this every time. Every time I give my rating, you have to. Why don't you do that to Tyler once in a while?
He doesn't give me anything good.
Tyler, give him something good next time.
Nah.
Sorry, John, you're still in the crosshairs.
Okay.
For me, I gotta agree with both of you guys. It's a great sequel. It's a great movie. The characters are wonderful again. Alfred Molina. No better casting.
Mwah. Que
It is-
bella.
It is so good, and it's so great. I gotta say, 9 mechanical arms out of 10.
Out of 9, would that make you a
He
squid?
went with 9 Harry, Larry, Moe, and Flows.
And no, John, squid have 10 arms.
I know, but you got some. Yeah, but you would have 9, so, and then there'd be your
I was
head.
in a repair shop. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's it from us on Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
dreading the
You're
next.
You're
The next. Ooh.
All right. Well,
I refuse to call it its name.
what were we? Oh, right. Oh, so you do know what we're doing?
I know.
No,
what
he's
you're
talking-
doing, and I'm dreading it.
You're dreading it.
I have to watch that bloody dance.
Oh, he's talking about the third Spider-Man movie.
Oh, the third Spider-Man. No, we're not gonna do that yet.
Okay. Oh, thank God.
We're not doing that yet. No.
We're gonna torture me next.
With what? Jurassic World?
No, we're actually gonna go. We're actually now going to venture a little bit out of our comfort zone. We're gonna go back to bad movies, but this time we're going to intentionally bad, schlocky B movie stuff.
Have you shown Ian The Room?
Not that schlocky.
Damn.
No, we're
Again.
talking about. Well, it deals with Ian's field of expertise, but it's not Jurassic Park related.
You know, there's a B movie called The Raptor.
Uh-oh.
Yes, I'm aware.
No, but we're not.
This
doing
is
that.
not that.
It's not that. It's a recent movie, and it's called Claw. We're gonna be doing that for January.
Came out this year.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? You can watch it for free on Tubi. Not sponsored. It's actually
I'm not going to pay for this. I refuse to pay for it.
well, no, you can watch it for free on Tubi. I'm saying that we're not sponsored by Tubi.
I know, but I'm not. This is a movie you don't pay to watch. Why I'm
Mhm.
not going to buy it at Walmart.
John, question. I'm trying to remember if this is my brain fart talking or not, but what movie did Sam Raimi direct? Because did he direct the one with an alligator?
Crawl?
Yeah.
I don't know if he. I think out of everyone here, I don't seem to have a movie that or a storyline that I rage about. Ian, you can rage about anything that's dinosaur or paleo related if it's inaccurate. Tyler, you hate liar reveal stories.
Only because they're just predictable.
Uh-huh.
We are not doing Crawl.
I seem to be. I don't know. I don't know what movies I rage at besides bad acting. You can stare at me all you want. I'm not gonna shiver. Look, me, Ian, I have stared into the abyss, and when I blinked, it blinked back at me.
Congrats, we are not doing Crawl. I refuse.
Okay.
What's your reasoning to refuse to do Crawl, if I may ask?
Because my job.
Would Lake Placid be better?
No. No, because I work with those animals.
So-
They're not like that.
Well, isn't Lake Placid based on a true story?
I don't know and I don't care. Goodbye.
Okay, so before
Tune in
Ian
next month to see me rage out.
Yes, before Ian this is a little preview of Ian blowing up. If you want to see more of that, do join us next month for Claw.
Claws.
No, just Claw. Just Claw. One word.
Well, that'll be the sequel.
One word.
That'll be the sequel.
There will never be a sequel. I will stop it.
It's just Claw. One word. Like Madonna.
But I will make a sequel called Claws.
Is Santa
I will
involved in
sabotage
it?
production.
Is Santa involved in it? Santa gets his DNA mixed with a dinosaur. Brilliant!
Really?
That's called Santa Claus. Or Sandy Claus. And A Nightmare Before Christmas already did that.
But he
La
didn't
la
have,
la 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 la
But
la
they didn't
la
have-
la.
but that Santa Claus didn't have claws at all.
I don't care. Regardless, No Tyler. No John. Viewers tune in next week to see me rage out.
Okay.
All right. Well, see you next time.
See you next time.
Ah.